Alright guys, today I'm going to talk about the side mount. Some people call side control, 100 kilos, chest on chest, but we'll stay with the side mount. And just for a little review, this position is the mount, full mount. We're aware of, I'm in a full mount. When I come back to the side, I'm in what we call a side mount. And this typically is the position I'm going to be in before I go to a full mount. Unless it's a rare situation, I'm going to either pass a guard or be controlling somebody in what we call a side mount. And the first thing, guys, I need to do to immobilize my opponent or my attacker is I need to immobilize him with my weight. And it's very important that my weight is controlling him, not my arm strength and just my pure will. When I say weight, I want to place my chest on his chest, meaning my sternum, which is a little area about 2 to 3 inches, directly on his sternum. So when I establish the side mount, my chest is going to be on his chest. And I'm very heavy here in this position. And it's very important that I keep my weight established. All my body weight is established in this one area. And this is a very difficult position for my opponent because he's feeling all my weight in that one spot in the area where he's breathing, where his breath control is. And it's a very uncomfortable, very bad position for him. And it really has to be, because if it's not, he's going to throw me off of him. I establish the side control. What I want to do first in this position, I hook the head with my arm closest to his head. This hand will either lock in this position. I use this leg to block. I could block his hip, and the other leg goes back here as my base leg. And once I establish, I don't want to. If I'm an inch or too far back, he doesn't feel my weight. If I'm too far forward, he doesn't feel my weight. I have to be, like I said, a chest on chest, where I'm immobilizing him. I don't want to keep my head way up. I want to keep my head down. I lock his neck. This arm, the opposite arm, farthest from the head, my right arm, is always underneath the arm, guys. It's never here because he could escape easily. Escape this way, go to my back. Yeah, he escapes quickly. Now, I lock underneath. I like to use a grip. If it's a really big guy, a really strong attacker, I use what we call a gable grip. I lock here or here, whatever side's comfortable. And I squeeze, I put my chest on chest, I squeeze him into me. I use my left shoulder, you can see how his head moves. I'm putting a lot of pressure here on his jaw area, my weight on him. And I establish a nice position that I'm relaxed in. I don't want to be holding my breath. I don't want to be squeezing and using a lot of strength. He's probably going to try to use strength, especially if he doesn't know Jiu-Jitsu. He's going to panic in this position. Once he starts to feel my weight, he's going to gas. Again, I come to the side control. I lock him. My right leg is blocking his hip. It's harder for him to escape his hip. Now, if he tries to roll me to this side, this hand, my right arm, my right hand, he tries to roll me, and it becomes my base. Again, I block. If I don't block, he can roll me and change the position immediately. Again, I'm locking the head. I'm blocking the hip. If he goes back the other way, my left leg is my base. He goes back this way, I block. And now I'm squeezing tight, my chest on chest, and I'm establishing this side mount. From the side mount, we're gonna work from here to where we could mount. I have a lot of attacks. And if my opponent decides, which is a very normal movement, he puts his forearm, in my neck. See, I'm holding him here, but he's trying to push me away, causing a lot of pain, a lot of pressure on my neck. What I do, guys, if he's really strong, I keep holding the neck, establish the base in case he wants to push me this way. I have my base. I push the elbow inside, and I lock again. This keeps him from, I put my head down, locking the shoulder, and it keeps him this nasty forearm in my neck. I see this a lot where in jiu-jitsu somebody has the forearm pushing on the neck, especially a stronger guy in the bottom, and it creates a lot of space, making your opponent escape. So again, I push the elbow, lock, and keep my base. Now, if my opponent does know jiu-jitsu, and I'm in this side, and he decides to push my hip here, and come back with the leg, and put me back in a guard, I have to defend that position. That's what he wants to do here. He wants to escape from the side control and put me in a guard. Again, he pushes on my hip. As he tries to push on my hip, I come back opposite way with my hip, with my right leg. And I like to trap this arm underneath, holding the shoulder, holding him behind his tricep. If you notice, my left leg is not here, it's not here. It's planted in a good base. When I'm pushing off that, and my weight now is on his rib cage. I'm pulling up on the tricep, holding the shoulder, and I'm keeping a lot of weight on his side. He feels this weight. And I'll have to stay here as long as I have to. And when he moves, I move. I go back again, guys, right to the side. He pushes on my hip again. I go right back to the defense, defending the side mount, because we don't want him to escape. But more importantly, the deal here is that you have to be heavy. Your chest has to be aligned on your sternum, on his sternum. Some common mistakes that people make in this position, guys. They'll hold in this position. They'll either be too far forward, too far back, or they'll just be sitting here on their knees. Now, my opponent does not feel any weight on me at all. And he escapes very easily from here. Go ahead, just escape. Yeah, just escapes, puts me back in the guard. He feels no weight. When my body's extended, my right knee's blocking his hip, my left leg is out, my chest on chest. Now he feels weight, a lot of pressure. I could even hear his breathing change. I could feel that pressure that he feels. And that's what you want to do. Always think heavy in the side mount. People call it 100 kilos, chest on chest, but we like to refer to it as the side mount or side control. And side control is one of the most important positions you'll ever learn in jiu-jitsu. And that's something that you guys really need to focus on as a white belt, a blue belt, and your journey through jiu-jitsu is being able to control your opponent, whether it's sport, jiu-jitsu, self-defense. If you can't control someone in the side control position, where there's literally thousands of submissions and a lot of safe positions there, you're going to be losing a lot of battles. And what I really wanted to focus on in that position is the chest on chest, the weight control. And when I say weight control, people say, well, Ron, do I have to be heavy? I'm not that heavy, but you don't have to be heavy. It's how you control your weight. I've seen some of the lightest guys in the world, but some of the best black belts, with heaviest guys in my side control. Some guys weighing only 130 pounds, and they feel like they're 300 pounds. And I explained how that 2-inch, 3-inch diameter from your sternum onto your opponent's sternum is so important, because you're directing all your weight, all your energy onto his chest. And that area is the immobilization. And you could use the side control in a lot of different positions. or different ways, I should say. You could be holding somebody down that needs medical attention, like first responders. Myself as a police officer, I might have to control somebody in that position. I'm pretty safe there because I could distribute my weight where I want to and control the person without actually hurting them. Or in a street fight, when we take somebody to the ground and we get to their side, you're not just going to end up in a mount position, you're probably going to end up in a side mount where I'm able now to control my opponent, to put my weight on him, to where I could go from the side mount to full mount to an area of, say, strikes or submissions to finish the altercation. Now, what you guys really need to focus on is keeping your weight down, keeping the chest on chest, and practice being heavy. Before you could learn submissions in this position, everybody wants to know the best submission. Hey, what's the best submission here? How do I take this guy out? Well, if you can't maintain your weight or maintain a good side control, you're going to lose the position almost every time, even from a person that doesn't know jiu-jitsu, because as a human being, human nature, the person's going to push on you. He's going to explode. And when they start to feel you're grabbing their neck and grabbing their arms, they're going to start to panic in that position, and naturally they're going to try to get away. And they will get away if you don't know how to breathe, relax, control your breathing, and focus on the chest on chest.